Greetings, family. Dr. Mike here, bringing it to you live from Aiken County, South Carolina. But in Edgefield County, South Carolina, we went to talk to someone who is 109 years old, almost 110. Her name is Mamie Reardon, and at a super centurion, as they're called, super centurion, that one. Anyway, at 110 years old, almost, on September the 9th, she's given us some good advice, some great advice. So as a Mother's Day gift to you from Dr. Mike, let's hear from what could possibly be South Carolina's oldest person, Miss Mamie Reardon. Give you some advice on child rearing, on how she's lived such a long and full life, and she's still healthy, still has a good memory, she still gets about, got her driver's license at 65 years old, and was driving until she was 95. So we're going to let Miss Mamie Reardon take it away, along with Miss Janie Ruth Harrison, as we were in Edgefield, South Carolina. So happy Mother's Day from Dr. Mike, giving it to you the only way that we can from Aiken, South Carolina, and from Edgefield, South Carolina, the home, as they call it, of 10 governors, from Strom Thurmond to Ben Pitchfork Tillman and all those other individuals. Live, Dr. Mike. Mrs. Reardon, can you tell us when you were born?
Huh?
Can you tell us when you were born?
Your birthday.
Your birthday. What is your birthday?
It might be September the 7th. Oh, sure.
What year?
And, well, 19 and, let's see, what is this now?
It's now, it's in the 2000.
Huh?
But I think you were born in 18-something.
Huh?
18 was Martha David.
1898.
1898.
Okay, September the 7th, 1898. So that's why she's coming up to her 10th birthday. 10th.
Huh?
2000.
And Mrs. Harrison, what is your birthday?
September 26, 1916. We great.
What's that mean?
That's why we so great, aren't we?
Not run with all classes of people and do the things that we know wasn't right. She wasn't allowed to do that. And I don't know what I know one thing.
What is that?
What she told us not to do, we better do that.
Or what?
Better not do it.
Or what would happen?
But I mean, we better remember what she told us not to do, and do the things what she told us
To do.
to do, the thing that she knew was right among
Treat other
different classes of people. She tell us that. But she wouldn't allow us, just to let everybody know that we was class ourselves different from anybody.
Now, what do you remember about your father?
Oh, my father, and you hear that,
He studied.
studied.
Yeah, he studied.
yeah. But I tell you one thing,
That was cute.
whatever each one of us told us to do, we better do that. And that's what she told us not to do, we better do that.
Okay.
She I can tell you one thing, she
Yes,
had
she
no trouble.
does.
She had no trouble with us, I bet you. And a lot of people would whack for white folks and things. My parents didn't allow us to go,
Yeah. Yeah. We know.
like a heap of color people would go out and work for white people and all that like that. Mom and Dad never did allow us to do it.
That's a good point.
It was a good thing. Now I can tell you about that, cause we didn't go out and at that time a lot of colored people would leave their home. Their parents would send them out to help in white people's homes like that. They would go in and they would cook and they'd do this and they'd do that. And sometimes they wouldn't get no pay. But some little thing they could I'll let you have this or I'll give you this if you do that. But they didn't do that all the time. And not all kind of people. They didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you take our crowd. You take our crowd. Mom and Dad and I one didn't let us wait for none of them to go there and stay in the house.
Mm-hmm. Nurse the baby.
And the boys.
My big cake is not out.
And the boys, if they worked for the white,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't, Daddy wouldn't allow them to go by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
He would go with them.
Yeah.
That's what you did. But my mother and father never did allow none of his girls to go out and stay all night and all stuff like that. And nobody's white people's house.
What was it like? What was it like having 11 children?
Well, see, when I had 11 children, I had somebody to help me with the others. Well, I mean, it was large enough to help me leave if I had to rush somewhere to leave some of them home. And they were large enough to stay there by themselves till we got back home like that. But I didn't just leave them and throw them out like a heap of people did. But that's not, you know, that large as I am, when my babies get large enough to stay home, I mean, somebody large enough to keep them till I get home. I didn't just throw them out and leave them alone like that. It was somebody that stayed with them. And if they didn't mind the one I left them in charge with, they know what come next.
What would come next?
Now, you hold your head up as high as you can hold it. You know what comes next.
You asked for an answer. Unadulterated.
Okay, right. What would you tell them? What would you tell young people?
Well, I would tell young people to tend their own business and not be running around with any and all kind of people. That's two things I tell them. Tend to their own business.
What about the education and stuff?
Huh? That's what I tell them.
What about the education and stuff?
Huh?
What about the education, schooling?
Oh, I would tell them be sure to get some education.
Get some or get all they can.
Well, that's some. That's all they can.
So how would you tell them? How would you tell young people?
I would tell young people. I would tell them, I'd try to pick somebody that I think they ought to, kind of let the example be kind of like them. So that we so a lot of people run around with in and everything. I would explain to them why, but I let them be large enough to know, just what I be talking about.
So here you have it, Dr. Mike coming at you live, your Mother's Day gift. Hearing from Mrs. Reardon and also from Mrs. Harrison, 109 years old and 91 years old. You can't get a better Mother's Day gift than that, as they give you these keys to life. But it also gives us a story about the institutions that we established and how poor decision making can lead to the demise of an institution as well. Dr. Mike bringing it to you the only way that I can, the only way that we can, live from Bettis Academy, Edgefield, South Carolina, and Aiken County, and Edgefield County. Give it to you the only way that we can. Throwing up the deuces. Peace.